welcome back to my YouTube channel, or our YouTube channel rather. And I'm very happy that we have been given an opportunity again to continue and to discuss another important part of your research. And I will be giving you some techniques, ways and means where you can write down this part of the research on your research that you're doing this time. And of course, I'm going to give you an example at the end of this vlog. So let's begin, because we're going to discuss the basics of writing a statement of the problem, or SOP, for your research. The first and yes, important of course, step in any research is to identify and delineate the research problem. That is, what the researcher wants to solve and what questions a researcher wishes to answer. A research problem may be defined as an area of concern, a gap in an existing knowledge. That's why doing gap analysis will also be a good idea before starting doing your SOP. Or a deviation in the norm or standard that points to the need for further understanding and investigation. Although many problems turn out to have several solutions, difficulties arise where such means are either not obvious or not immediately available. This then necessitates some research to reach a viable solution. A statement of the problem, or SOP, is used in research work as a claim that outlines the problem addressed by a study. The SOP, or statement of the problem, briefly addresses the question, what is the problem that the research will address? So what are the goals of the statement of the problem, or SOP? That's the next topic. The ultimate goal of a statement of the problem, or SOP, is to transform a generalized problem into a targeted, well-defined problem, one that can be resolved through focused research and careful decision-making. Writing a statement of the problem should help you clearly identify the purpose of the research project you will propose. Often, the statement of the problem will also serve as the basis for the introductory section of your final proposal, directing your panelist or your reader's attention quickly to the issues that your proposed project will address. And of course, providing the panelist or your readers with a concise statement of the proposed project itself. A statement of the problem, or SOP, need not to be very long and elaborate. One page is more than enough for a good statement of the problem. This time we are going to discuss about what are the key characteristics of a statement of the problem. A good research problem, or SOP, should have the following characteristic. First, it should address a gap in knowledge. I mentioned a while ago that it's really good to do a gap analysis before finalizing your title or doing your SOP. Second, it should be significant enough to contribute to the existing body of research. Third, it should lead to further research. Of course, since there is a gap, and it should also be a guide to other researchers' future research. Fourth, the problem should render itself to investigation through collection of data. And fifth, it should be of interest to the researcher and suit his or her skills, time, and resources, and of course the major of specialization you're in. Sixth, the approach towards solving the problem should be ethical. So here are my examples for you. Please remember that your title and your SOP must collaborate, must be aligned. That's the most important thing that you have to remember. You need to be guided as you draft your SOP, statement of the problem, you need to be guided with what is your title. You cannot just put anything on your SOP. You cannot just add anything in your SOP that does not connect and does not directly involve to your title. So the first example that I'm going to give is an output of my previous students. So here's the first. The title of this study is The Impact of Pricing Strategy on Consumer Buying Behavior to Resorts. So let me move closer here. So take a look into the general statement that they have created. So the general SOP, or the first paragraph, is what we call the general statement. So the general statement states that this study aims to determine the impact of pricing strategy on consumer buying behavior, and more specifically, it seeks to find answers to the following. So the first SOP that they have is on understanding the demographic profile of their respondents. Of course, because they wanted to know, it is connected. Take a look at and understand this, that gender matters on the preference and pricing choices, and also the age matters, and the income of these consumers who would like to avail this pricing promotion that resorts are doing because of pandemic. And the second SOP they had is what is the perception of the respondents of the pricing strategies in terms of two major pricing strategies. So they have identified specifically two major pricing strategies. I hope so it's clear on the video. Let me move closer. I hope so it's just clear and you can read it. So the bundle pricing and the discount pricing. They wanted to understand the preference of the market between a bundle pricing and the discount pricing, which is more preferred by the respondents that they will be conducting the study. And the third is what is the consumer's buying behavior in terms of social factors, personal factors. Those two factors that they have identified. Social factors, that's the influence of the people around you, and the personal factors, your personal choice, your personal preference. Of course, we have our own standards that we follow. And on the fourth, they stated here that is there a significant degree of relationship between demographic profile of the respondents and the following: pricing strategy and consumer buying behavior. So is there a relationship on the demographic, on the first SOP that they have, on the first statement that they have, towards the buying behavior, towards the pricing strategy and the buying behavior. So that does the age has an impact to the buying behavior and on the pricing strategy. Does the income or does the gender also have the difference between the preference of the consumer? Another is, and the last is there a significant degree of correlation between pricing strategies on resorts to the buying behavior? So, and that's the concluding question that they have for this SOP. Another example that I am going to give is on my personal research that I conducted when I had my MA. The title of my study, there was a gap. I was able to read a gap that, because faculty, this is focused on faculty research productivity. What affects on the professors on colleges and universities? I wanted to know why can't they, or why can they produce research? Why can they publish? Why can they present research? Or why cannot they do it? Although I am guided with excuse me, I am guided with the CMO, a memorandum coming from the Commission on Higher Educations, that all professors in all colleges and universities must have a research output, a research productivity. I think that's every year that they are requiring all the faculties of higher educational institutions. So that gap, I try to understand na professors or college professors are of course inclined into doing research for their students. So this time I would like to I need to understand whether on the other side, do teachers, do professors do also the research. So my opening statement or my general statement, let me focus that one. Okay, so my general statement is this study aims to determine the faculty research productivity of selected tertiary institutions on the first district of this province as the basis for the output of this study. Specifically, it seeks to answer the following queries. So the first SOP that I have, hold on, it's the camera is zooming. There you go. I hope that's fine. So the same with the first example I have given, I was guided that I need to understand if the age has an impact to research productivity of the faculty, if civil status, whether they are single or married, and the income and their employment status, if this has an effect to them being productive. And the second statement of the problem, I patterned it to the variables that I have identified based on my title. Again, let's go back and make sure that you are guided with the title. So the second SOP I have indicated, I said, as perceived by the respondent, to what extent is the faculty research productivity in terms of, my first variable for this research is personal factors, because a teacher or a professor might not be able to produce a research on a personal factor. And second is faculty workload. If they are bounded with so many subject load, they are handling several subjects, that hinders them not to be productive in research. And the third is institutional characteristic. These are the guidelines, the protocols, and the mandate of the school itself. Are they forced? Do the school give incentives to those teachers who do publish and present research? So this falls under the institutional characteristic. And the last SOP, the fourth SOP that I have indicated, is that it states here that based on the findings, what action plan could be formulated. So this is the concluding SOP that I have indicated. Right after doing the study, finding out all the respondents' answer, what could be action plan or a solution I can suggest or I can give based on the data that I will be able to gather on this study. So those are the examples that I can give. I hope so you have gained ideas and information, and if you do so, please do share to your classmates or group mates in your research. And I'm very excited to give you more of other topics relating to the different parts of your research and how you can do it, and giving an example as well. And once again, good luck in your research and enjoy learning.